Peace, everyone. Peace, Cosmo. Aw, peace to the God. I'm trying to make sure everything is going right. I see. Peace. YouTube is going right, Facebook is going right, and for the first time ever, I will be streaming, or I should be streaming, on Twitch. So, hopefully that goes right. How is the sound? Is the sound okay? Let me see here. Peace, everyone. We're going to get started in just a moment. I have so much that I want to share, and I pray that I'll be able to get it all out. All right. Oh, all right. It looks like I am live on the Twitch platform. Awesome. This is so cool. You see, I'm getting it with all the technology stuff. I'm in the loop. Alright, well, without further ado, I would like to open up in prayer and then get started. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Oh Allah, Almighty God, we thank you for the opportunity to witness and experience your marvelous creation, and for allowing us to come together for a higher purpose, rising above the chaos of this wicked world. May we be uplifted, find balance, and get grounded in your holy and righteous name, in the name of your risen and exalted Christ, and in the name of your divine reminder, leader, teacher, guide, and Jesus in our midst, we pray. Amen. Peace. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Zewdy Zen Zone. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am Zewdy, curator of the Zen, and here we talk about different things dealing with healing and well-being and the power of positive and forward thinking, and understanding that all of those things are interconnected. So please excuse the little banging noise in the background. That's my washing machine. But, Zen, the word Zen, a lot of people associate it with, like, peace and that sort of thing, which is understandable. But when I looked up the definition, and it is a Japanese word, it really means enlightenment. And it makes sense, because when you have knowledge, when you have understanding, it brings more peace into your life, So I think it's appropriate, because that is what I would like to help us all find and produce from within. When we take in knowledge that is applicable and beneficial, and we use it, then we have more peace in our lives. We have more healing. And yeah, so I see my people. Peace, Michael. Faith, Way, Believe. Peace, my sister Greta. She says, I love Zewdy Zen Zone. I do too. And I love all of the visitors of the Zen Zone. I really appreciate you all for coming here, and I pray that something that I share is insightful, is helpful. Yeah, because I always learn stuff in preparation, but even as I go on and sharing what I have learned and researched. So the last couple of weeks, we have been dealing more so with the physical aspects of health, like, you know, the types of foods and herbs and things like that that we can consume to help strengthen our immunity, which is always good. You know, it's good to consume healthy foods and herbal teas and things like that to strengthen our bodies. But something that we should not neglect, and something that we should always consider, is the health of our minds, because it is so important, and it's really at the root of most, if not all, disease and disorders and all of that. You know, sometimes people say, I gotta get my mind right, and we understand that as a colloquialism, or as something, you know, preparing yourself mentally for something. But getting your mind right is key for getting everything else right in your life, because everything outside, the physical manifestations of things, is a reflection of what's going on inside. Believe it or not, it is the truth. You know, I have a couple of things that I want to reference before I go into the notes that I have been taking. But I remember I heard in a lecture by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I don't remember which lecture it is, so if there's any Muslims out there that may know where this is from, please put it in the comments in the chat box. But he said something to the effect of, you know, it doesn't matter how well you're eating, if this isn't together, your body can't even properly digest the food and absorb the nutrients and use it. And that is so true. You know, you can eat the most alkaline diet and drink all of the spring water and all of the exercise, but if there is an imbalance in your mind, then you're not going to be at the optimum health. There's just no way. And that just shows how powerful the mind is. And I know that we hear that. We hear that the mind is powerful and that the mind is a terrible thing to waste. And it's kind of sad that sayings like this have become cliche and are oftentimes not taken seriously. But it's so true. It's so true. We haven't even began to tap into the true power of our minds. Our minds are so potentially powerful, and we have the potential to heal ourselves. The mind and the body are so interconnected, and thought and disease, all of these things are interconnected. And I'm going to do my best to try and clarify this, make it very easy for all of us to understand. The mind, man. And I bear witness to this because over the last several years, I would say especially the last 4 to 5 years, I had been working on healing through the mind, the subconscious mind to be more specific. And I'll go into that in a little bit, but I want to get this book real quick. Yes, okay, so this book, which is The Restrictive Law of Islam is Our Success, is such a great book. But I want to read from the first chapter, The Divine Law of Islam, and it talks about the 10 systems of a universal order. And it talks about the sun and the 9 planets and relating that to our body, the sun being the brain, and the 9 systems. So, the same thing, these are the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Within the human being are 9 functioning systems: skeletal, digestive, lymphatic, muscle, respiratory, endocrine, nervous, circulatory, reproductive, and the brain. Did you know that the health of this human body depends on how well the 10 systems function in relationship to each other? Anytime you get sick, there is a disorder in the systems of your own body. I just want to think about that word disorder, because, you know, a lot of conditions, health conditions, are referred to as disorders or dis-ease. And disorder is a lack of order. Same with a dis-ease, a lack of ease. Now, this brain of ours is to be like the sun. It is to be lit with knowledge. And by this brain being lit with knowledge, then the systems obey the law of the light of our knowledge, and we have harmony and order in the function of our bodies. But at the very moment our light goes out in the 10th system, our brain, the moment you do not have the kind of knowledge that will allow you to live by the divine law of Almighty God, then, because of the darkness of our thoughts and the darkness of our minds, we begin to interfere with the harmonious functions of our systems. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that this human body is a mathematical creation, and like everything else, it is on time. So when the light goes out up there, you'll find you don't function well. You begin to have problems with the heart. You begin to have problems with the rhythm of your system. For example, when your pulse beat is off, that means your heartbeat is off. And when the doctor listens to your pulse, he's listening for the regularity of the beat of your pulse, which tells us whether you are mathematically tuned up right. Consequently, you also start looking for problems in the circulatory system. And that problem in the circulatory system may also be indicative that there is a problem in the nervous system. And when the circulatory system and the nervous system are upset, there is a problem in the digestive system. If you keep going, then there will be a problem in the muscular system, in the skeletal system. And before you know it, we just start breaking down. And the motion of life starts beginning to come to a halt because of the dysfunction, disharmony, and disorder in the body, because something is not functioning according to the law under which it was created. Now, that is so key. So key, because what I want to share with you all has to do with the mind, the brain. And when there is an imbalance in the mind, in the brain, then it starts affecting the rest of the body. And I want to go into how that happens. So, physical and psychological stressors cause inflammation to occur in the body. Now, many of us know now that inflammation is a key factor in almost every illness, every disease out there. And reducing inflammation is vital to healing pretty much everything. So, when you experience a stressful or traumatic event, it's recorded in the subconscious mind. After that, it causes a shock. It shocks the mind. And then it sends de-stressing signals throughout the nervous system, right? So that will signal the endocrine system to increase stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And then when those stress hormones are increased, it actually decreases or lowers or suppresses our immunity, making us more susceptible to different diseases, illnesses, disorders. Now, the stress response that I've just outlined here is not meant for us to experience over and over and over again. It is something that was put in place as a protective measure. I know many of us have heard the term fight or flight response. So when you're in immediate danger, like you're being chased by a bear or something, I don't know, something like that, that is what this stress response is for. But because our minds tend to hold on and have this attachment to those stressful, traumatic events, it's something that repeats in our mind, and it causes us to be in that state for longer periods of time than necessary, and ultimately it's weakening us, our immunity. So there are different things that can be done to address such issues that many of us face. And I mean, let's face it, a lot of us have been through different things. It doesn't have to be as traumatic as a car accident or your house burning down, but those are just examples. You can be traumatized from a toxic relationship and how that affects your subconscious mind. I know that's what happened to me. I mean, I've also been in car accidents, and I'm sure they have affected me to some degree. But everyone has experienced a level of trauma or stress that has afflicted our subconscious minds. And when we don't heal from those things, it causes the way that we respond to things, the way that we react to things, to be not balanced, because there is an imbalance that exists within our minds. Now, there are different types of therapies that have been proven to help with these things, and I honestly have experienced something that has helped me a lot, which is called auditing. And in other I guess schools of thought, it is called regression therapy. So you're with a therapist or an auditor or this type of healing practitioner, and they help you to go back in time in your mind to let's say, for example, I've experienced a traumatic event that causes me to be very fearful whenever something similar happens. Like, let's say I was in a toxic relationship, right? And that person, my experience with that person really traumatized me and made me have a lot of false ideas and concepts about myself, that I'm unworthy of love and not beautiful, and just like very, very deep feelings of insufficiency, right? So this person would help you go in your mind to pinpoint the root of those feelings. And sometimes you will find that the root isn't even that relationship. That was just something that compounded onto your experiences. The root could go all the way back to your relationship to one of your parents, who initially made you feel that way because maybe their lack of care or something like that. And what happens in this regression therapy or auditing, when you go back into that space, you can help your mind change its perception of that experience. The healing practitioner will ask you, what did you need at that time? And you can recreate that in your mind. So it's not like you can't change what had happened, but you change your mind's perception. And it essentially is helping you cope with that experience. So yeah, that is something very helpful. But I want to talk about how we can heal with the power of our minds. And I'm talking about not just healing psychological disorders or diseases, but even physical things. You know, you hear about the placebo effect. People were given something, but they thought they were given a medicine, but they were given a saline solution or sugar pills or something like that. And they end up being able to heal. You know, people are like, how does that happen? So from my research, it's the power of belief, that your belief is so strong that it transcends belief into a knowing. It's a surety. But on top of that, it's also the care of your healthcare provider or the healer, whoever you're dealing with, your doctor, therapist. That has a lot to do with it too. So on top of your feeling secure and your strong belief, optimism, positive thinking about the situation, the person who is providing you health care, being nurturing and helpful in that way. You know, being a force of healing as opposed to a force of fear. Another thing I want to note is that as human beings, we are communal beings, right? We were created to relate to one another. But oftentimes, our relationships and the different things that we do in our lives, professional lives, spiritual lives, love lives, all that, there tends to be imbalances in all of those things. And we need to have healthy relationships, professional lives, creative lives, financial lives, love lives, and a healthy environment. Ultimately, that's pointing to having a healthy mind. Because when you have a healthy mind, then you're more able to develop those other things that I outlined. Healthy relationships, creative life, so on and so forth. But all of that is important it goes hand in hand. I have a couple of statistics here that I thought were really interesting to consider because it deals with these healthy relationships and how having that has a positive effect on our mental state. So it says that married people are twice as likely to live longer lives than unmarried people. And I would assume that's like happily married people, okay? Your spiritual life. So people who attend religious services live up to 14 years longer than those who don't. People who fail to take their vacation days are a third more likely to develop heart disease than those who do. Of course, your attitude has a lot to do with your mental state. And, you know, sometimes people think of it the other way. Like, well, if my mental state was better, then I could change my attitude. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, okay? Let me tell you something that helped me with reprogramming my subconscious mind. So I had a lot of subconscious beliefs about myself that I wasn't aware of until I started delving into this thing. And the subconscious beliefs that I held were very negative. I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't feel like I was enough. Deep down, I didn't think that I was worthy of love. That's not to say that I didn't want love. Of course I wanted love. I'm a very loving being. But there was a deep belief that I wasn't worthy of it and that I couldn't get it. I couldn't achieve and acquire the love that I desired. And I wasn't happy with the way I looked and so on and so forth. I had a lot of negative, false ideas and concepts, self-ideas, self-concepts. And at a certain point, I even was engaging in a lot of negative self-talk that I wasn't fully aware of until I really started observing this. So, what helped me were a couple of these tactics. So, positive affirmations, right? I started to write in a gratitude journal. I got a notebook, a cute notebook, and I started to write every day the things that I was grateful for. Everything that I could think of, from the smallest thing to the biggest thing, from life, God, all of these, whatever I could think of, a place to stay, food in my refrigerator. Writing the things I was grateful for, also writing positive affirmations, positive things about myself, to myself. Not only did I write them in a journal, but I did what people refer to as mirror work. So what that is looking at your reflection in the mirror and gazing. I would gaze at myself in the mirror, looking at myself in my reflection's eyes. And I did this for, I don't even know how long. I still do it sometimes, sort of like maintenance, right? But I would look at my reflection in the eyes, and after a while, it's somewhat meditative. And I'm looking at myself to the point where everything around me just fades, and all I see is me looking at me. And when I get into this place, then I start saying these positive affirmations to myself, in the like second person, saying you are so beautiful, you are worthy of love, you are a divine being, you are loved by God, saying all these things. And as I would do this, I would feel I feel the love of my inner being, of my higher self, really like loving on myself. And over time, honestly, I felt something in that instant. But the more that I did this, the more it really started to translate and started to reflect in my life. The way that I would treat myself, the way that I lived my life, the way I would care for myself. I started to do more to show myself that I cared for myself. There's also the subconscious mind is very impressionable, especially when you are asleep, because your conscious mind is asleep, but your subconscious never sleeps. Your subconscious mind is recording all of the time. So another thing that people do is they listen to subliminal positive affirmations in their sleep. You can do this by making them yourself, by recording the positive affirmations in your own voice and overlaying some music so that you can't even really hear it but your subconscious mind can and does and will pick it up. A lot of people recommend making your own positive affirmation tracks, because there are some out there. Like if you go on YouTube or even music streaming services and you look up positive affirmations, you'll find some stuff out there. But if you can't hear what's being said, then you don't really know what is being said. Like, you don't know. So that's, to me, that's kind of dangerous, because you don't know what there are some really like wicked people out there that will put some crazy stuff in subliminal messages. So unless it's a trusted source, I wouldn't necessarily recommend just choosing anything. If you know the company that created the tracks, or if you make it yourself. And honestly, I think that's something that I would like to get into, making that sort of thing, because it really helps. It really worked. Like, I bear witness to that, and I would like to do that. I think that I have the voice for it, so look out for that one of these days. That's something that really helps. Oh yeah, so happy people, they say, live 7 to 10 years longer than unhappy people. And optimists are 77% less likely to get heart disease than pessimists. So for all of you people who like to be pessimistic and cynical, and you think that it's so cool to be like that, you're killing yourself, okay? I know sometimes life is difficult. I understand, okay? I have difficulties in my life. I have trials. I have things that sometimes make me feel stressed. But I know that it's not serving me to dwell in the stress and in the negativity that I may be experiencing. So I don't allow myself to. I let myself honestly feel how I'm feeling. That's fine. But whenever you see me, I'm usually, in this lighthearted, positive, optimistic posture, because that's truly who I am. That's me being in my nature. Our nature is to live in peace. And when that is disrupted by some imbalance, that's when you see other things happening. So, what else did I want to say about this? Oh yeah, I wanted to reiterate that how the brain sends those signals and things. So when we have a negative belief or feeling or thought or traumatic experience, stressful experience, how the brain often perceives that sort of situation or thought or feeling or belief as a threat, right? And then the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, they start secreting things, communicating with the adrenal gland, which will secrete those stress hormones, cortisone, norepinephrine, epinephrine, triggering the sympathetic nervous system and causing that fight or flight response. Now, we actually have a relaxation response, which when we have that relaxation response, then the body will release healing hormones like oxytocin and dopamine. But our body cannot get into that relaxation response unless the nervous system is relaxed. So, remember earlier I was mentioning the placebo effect? So, doctors and scientists and people who have been studying this are connecting the placebo effect to that relaxing of the nervous system. For example, let's say I have some kind of condition, right? Let's say I have, some kind of blood condition. and my doctor tells me I have this super medicine that is just going to knock out your condition. So I have so much belief in my doctor that I'm feeling very relaxed. I'm feeling confident and assured. And my doctor is so caring and nurturing. The combination of those things, I go to my doctor and get this super medicine, which is actually a placebo, and it heals me. It's because of that, those things I mentioned, being in that very strong, positive mindset and having a nurturing healthcare practitioner. So having that positive mindset and having that nurturing practitioner helps your body to relax, helps your nervous system to relax. And aside from having that, there are different things that you can do, pleasurable activities that can help your nervous system relax. Now, what I want to say right now that I believe strongly to be fundamental before I mention all these other things is prayer. Why do I say prayer? Because prayer is communicating with your Creator. Having that relationship and that connection with your Creator and making that the priority and the primary relationship that you are cultivating and developing and strengthening, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I will say that you're more likely to experience things that people will consider miraculous when it comes to healing, when you strengthen that relationship. Because we talked about healthy relationships and how that has a positive effect on your mental state, but that is the most significant. That is the most fundamental. So I just had to put that there. And personally, I've been striving to be more prayerful, more consistent in my prayers, and sincere and present in my prayers. And the more that I am that, the more that I just I just feel better. The more I know that I'm vibrating at a higher frequency. I know it. I mean, I see it, other people see it, and it reflects in other areas of my life as well. So, now that I've mentioned prayer, these other pleasurable activities that can help relax your nervous system and make you more able to have that relaxation response to stress. Creative expression. So singing, dancing, different types of art. There are so many different kinds of creative expression. Getting a massage. Oh my goodness. If this world wasn't, closed and everything, I would be trying to get massages at least once a week if I could afford it. But I did get a massage gadget that goes on the shoulders and the neck area. You can manipulate it to go in different areas. I'm telling you, that really helps to release tension and help me to feel relaxed. And I try not to overdo it. I don't want to get addicted to the thing, but I use it every other day, and it helps a lot. Activities like Tai Chi and yoga. I mean, practicing these types of moving meditation, which people would say it is, and meditation as well. I guess standard meditation, what people know to be meditation. Tai Chi, yoga, these are things that help to relax your nervous system and center you. Spending time with loved ones. When you spend time with people that bring you peace and help you to feel relaxed, like you know that is nourishing on a spiritual level. And laughing, doing things that help, make you feel good in that way. Okay, I said a lot and I haven't really checked in with you all. I want to see what's going on with everyone. All right, y'all. Peace. Oh my gosh, all love is in the building. Jasmine's in the building. Peace via the hub. Peace, Nadia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yes, I do still sing. I sing every day of my life. Whew. Okay. Peace, rural Livety. Love Sponge. Discovering Yolanda. I needed to hear this. I'm not very religious myself, but I think recording my own affirmations would help. Try it out. I'm telling you, it really does help, because the subconscious mind is so impressionable. It absorbs information. It's always recording information. Brazil's in the building. Peace, Jenna. Cheekbones on 10. Peace, SO. Yes. All right. Sorry, I can't see my Facebook things here. I'm trying to see everybody, my streaming. Nope, doesn't work. Okay. Jasmine says, I'm just soaking all this in. Oh, praise be to Allah. Yeah. I wanted to mention about the subconscious mind that from the time that we're born to about 6 or 7, we are in a very subconscious, almost unconscious place. And that is when our minds are the most impressionable. That's why we learn languages a lot easier during that time. And a lot of things that make us who we are solidified during those years, those formative years. And those are the things oftentimes that we need psychological healing from. Because as we grow older and then we experience other things that get compounded on those things, it's just adding more and more and more onto it. And you can chip away at those things, but if you get to the root, then that just knocks everything out. Rural Livety asked, ¿Habla español? No, I don't. I learned a little bit when I was in school, like middle school and high school. And I went as far as honor Spanish too. But I ain't going any further than that. But it's a beautiful language. Dag K says, just search for positive affirmation on Spotify. Interesting stuff. First time hearing this. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you learned something new today. It's very helpful. And, I want to recommend doing it yourself. And if you need ideas, you can look online to get the words if you can't think of, kind things to say to yourself. Although I'm sure that you can. If you think about the areas where you struggle when it comes to belief in yourself, confidence in yourself, loving yourself, and thinking of what you can say that is the opposite of what you think. For example, if you think you're unworthy, then saying you are worthy or I am worthy. If you don't think you're attractive, something, saying you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are gorgeous. If you don't think you're worth a damn, you don't think you're nothing, saying you are divine. You know, that stuff really, really helps. I'm not telling you something that I don't know or that I haven't experienced myself, but I did a lot of research in preparation for today's epiZewd, because I wanted to give some information about the connection between the mind and the body, and how when there's an imbalance in the mind, how that negatively affects our immunity. Because I just didn't have that information. I knew it to be the truth, but I didn't have the information myself. Via the Hub said, had to take a double look at what you were lighting up. I was about to throw my TV off the wall. It's Palo Santo. You are so silly. Oh my goodness. No, it ain't that, you know. I don't deal with that no more. Oh, I want to shout out those who have donated between last week and this week. So shout out to Jamond. I don't think he's in the building today. And shout out to Laketrick. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means a lot to me. It helps me a lot. It helps me more than you know. To sustain my life. So if anybody's interested in offering their support, these are the ways. My Cashapp, PayPal, and Venmo. And if you're on YouTube Superchats as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for that. Does anybody have any comments or questions regarding anything that has been discussed? Do you implement any of the things that I mentioned already when it comes to writing what you're grateful for, or positive affirmations, mirror work, subliminal affirmations when you're sleeping, meditation, prayer? Does everybody feel on cloud 9 with these sounds? Live AF. Excuse my cursing. I'm really glad, you know. Oh, I didn't mention. Thank you for saying that. So today, the frequency that I chose to play in the music is 936. Let me make sure. Yes, 936 hertz, which deals with the crown chakra, healing the mind. I thought that was most appropriate for today's episode because I really wanted to induce healing and, of course, inform about healing. Peace and blessings. Yes, indeed. What else did I want to mention? Oh, yeah. I wanted to say, when it comes to, let's see. Okay, so when I was talking about healing and the power of the mind, and how the power of your belief, having, a positive mindset, and that strong belief, along with a healthcare provider or a healer that is nurturing, as I was reading about this and, going over this research, it really solidified even more so for me, affirmed and confirmed for me that I'm meant to be in the realm of healing. I've really been striving to just not only accept it, but really walk in it, step into my power as a healer. And I have a lot of examples with friends and family members that I have helped heal themselves from various conditions, skin conditions, the flu, digestive issues, all kinds of stuff, right? But when they talked about the nurturing of your provider or your healer, that really that hit me a certain kind of way, because I'm a very nurturing person, if I do say so myself, and any of the people in my life can attest to that. They can bear witness to that. They can vouch for that. I feel very secure that the people in my life will tell you that I'm one of the most nurturing people they've ever met. And I know that as women especially, it is our nature to nurture, right? And when we're not nurturing, it's because we're not operating in the nature in which we were created. But nurturing for me is like breathing. Like nurturing, it is fulfilling to me to be able to nurture myself and others. I'm getting emotional thinking about this. Please excuse me. But I think it's really, I'm getting emotional because I'm figuring out more and more every day why I'm here, why God put me here. And I feel very strongly on a soul level that I'm a healer. And it makes me sad sometimes to think about the fact that there are doctors and so-called healers out there, and they're not nurturing. They're not comforting in that way. And that's not to say, a person should sugarcoat things. No, it's not saying that. But when people are dealing with an illness and, they're sick, you don't want to feed the fear that they may already be experiencing. You don't want to put them in a worse state of mind than they were when they came to you. And unfortunately, that happens all over the place. In the medical field, in the medical association, there are doctors and people that don't show care for their patients. They're there just for the money, and it's really sad. And we already know that our medical system is not functioning in a way that really serves the people, So yeah, I'm getting emotional for several reasons, but right now I feel emotional because I'm very grateful. I'm grateful that I'm learning more about my purpose and my calling, and I just feel very I feel it's an overwhelming feeling. I'm just really thankful and appreciative that I am able to share these things with somebody out there, and that you all are coming on this journey with me, and know that this is still just the beginning. But yeah, Yeah, man. I'm really appreciative of this journey, the spiritual journey, this healing journey. And I want to say that healing is a perpetual thing. It is an ongoing thing, because as long as we're alive, we're affected by different things. Um, we experience stressors every day, and it's something that we have to continuously work on our healing. That's why you can't just apply the meditation and the prayer one day and then everything's better. No, it doesn't work like that. It's consistency to maintain, but not only maintain, to continue to grow and to heal and to get better and better and better and better. Right? So, yeah. Man, this was so great. I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling very lively. I feel very healthy right now. Mentally, I'm feeling very up. I'm thankful for that. Physically, I'm feeling great too. Can y'all see it? I mean, I see it, but I see myself all the time. But I just feel so full of gratitude to Allah, for you all, and really for this opportunity. It's a blessing, and it's an honor, and it's a privilege, and it is a pleasure to serve in this way. And I'm really excited for what is to come of this journey. I anticipate more. I know it's gonna, I'm expanding, y'all. I'm expanding, I'm elevating, I'm evolving, and you are too, and you're coming along with me on this journey in the Zen Zone. Well, if there's nothing else, if you have anything to share, please do. I thank you all so much. Oh, the tea that I'm drinking is, so the base of this is cinnamon, cardamom, clove, which is what I have all the time. But I also have some scarlet sage in here, and that has several different health benefits. It has digestion benefits, as well as it helps with anxiety and stress, and also menstrual stuff. It had various different things dealing with different conditions, but well, you all, I'm wrapping this thing up. Once again, thank you so much for being here in Zewdy Zen Zone. I appreciate your time, your energy, your presence, your feedback, your enthusiasm. Man, I don't even know what else to say. Today was just so great, and I'm really basking in the positivity. And you know how in my Zen Zone intro, I talk about, healing and well-being, and the power of positive and forward thinking. I mean, today's episode really dealt with that, you know? The optimism and positive thinking, how much of a difference it makes in your health. It really does. And really, that is why I started the Zen Zone, because, you know, dealing with this global pandemic that we're still in, a lot of people were in a lower state vibrationally, fearful, you know, confusion, and I wanted to help contribute to dispelling that, you know, because God is not the author of confusion and doesn't give you the spirit of fear. That's from the enemy. That's from Satan. And what we're doing here, we're raising the vibrational frequency. So the more that the Zen Zone grows and has order and structure, the more things start to make sense as to why I'm even here in front of you right now. And I'm thankful. I feel that I'm being guided more and more. The more I seek, you know, the more I ask God, like, why am I here? What do you want me to do? How can I use the gifts that you blessed me with to help others, you know? So yeah, initially I wanted to help people get out of that fearful, chaotic state into a more harmonious, balanced state of being, state of mind, and to have a more serene, peaceful spirit. And, you know, of course that affects us on a mental level, emotional level, but it also affects our physical health. So yeah, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. It's making sense to me, and I'm really thankful for that. Yeah, so once again, if anybody would like to offer their support, these are the ways: Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal. And you can always connect with me outside of the streaming, you know, outside of YouTube, outside of Facebook and Twitch. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. Look up Zewdy. I'm very easy to find. I love connecting with you all. I love building with you all. And I thank you so much. Once again, thank you for your energy, your time, your presence, your thoughts, your prayers. Because I know some of y'all have been praying for me. I've been praying for y'all too. Oh, this is one of my favorite stones. Isn't it beautiful? Let's see. Rural Livety, I thank you as well. You are a firestorm, Zewdy. I look forward to your ciphers. Thank you. Nice one. Thanks for sharing. It was very encouraging. I'm so glad. You have no idea. Like, to know that I'm reaching people and that something I'm saying is helpful means so much to me. Even if it's just one person. But I'd like it to be more than one. And it is, so I'm thankful. Dag said, I feel like I just gave my mind a massage. Thank you, Zewdy, for the positivity. We winning. I'm so happy. Thank you guys so much. Alright, y'all. Well, that is my time. I thank you for your everything. Most of all, your presence. Yeah, because energy is currency. Well, I'll be back, inshallah, next week. Same time, same place. I think I will continue on in this line of healing because there's so much that can be said especially dealing with the subconscious. I want to get deeper into it. I have a lot of things that I want to get into, but that will also require more study on my part. So yeah, and if you ever, want me to address something in particular, dealing with this in the realm of healing, please feel free to suggest it. Send me a message on Instagram or Twitter, and I would definitely consider it. Aw, Simply Eccentric, just tuning in. I have to start from the beginning. Take care, everyone. Aw, I'm sorry, but that's the good thing about these lives, is that they stay up afterwards. And I think it's going to be a good one, Simply Eccentric. And I appreciate you tuning in anyway. And yeah, so with that being said, I love you all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. May Allah bless each and every one of you with the light of understanding, or each and every one of us, because I would like more understanding as well, and with peace and love and prosperity and healing in perpetuity. Thanks again, and I love you.